We found a great location in southern Ontario that had a very cooperative farmer that owned the farm, and he allowed us to build a number of temporary structures in his fields. We laid out roads and laid out, the corner of this colony where these events occurred, and we saw the residences and some of the communal structures in that community, and then we carried that through to our stage builds as well. So like there were aspects of it that were faithful to how the Mennonite lived and how their lives functioned, but it was a little bit non-specific in that it could have been any Mennonite community anywhere. We did presentations for the actors of what their houses, how we were planning their houses well in advance of them arriving. We did like Zoom calls and showed them images and talked about, like the approaches to the different characters and their residences. Because even though there's a lot of conformity in the communities, we wanted to give each of the characters' homes their own specific and individual character and personality. There's no decorations on the wall, like they live a plain and simple lifestyle, and that's a virtue. But there are things that we did notice from some of the research that we did of things that did appear on walls, like for once, the things that are utilitarian are permissible. So, like calendars were permissible. Things like tea towels, and sometimes there'd be, like a nicely embroidered tea towel hanging on a rack that was maybe, functioned more as a sort of decoration than something that you actually wiped your hands on. There were also bags, like shopping bags would be hung on hooks. So sometimes those would, we use that, and clocks. The way the hayloft was laid out, it wasn't quite workable for how we wanted to shoot it. Like everything from the height of the hayloft and how much headroom there was in the actual barn to the size of the hayloft. So and the obstructions in the barn. So what we did was we basically recreated the barn in the studio, where we had a slightly larger hayloft area, and we lowered the height of the hayloft so that there was like more clearance, so that there was like the actors weren't bumping their heads on the like on the gabled walls. She's just brilliant. I mean, she's intelligent and conscientious and considerate and thoughtful, and just a really an amazing person. But also, lots of fun and irreverent, and likes to joke around, and likes to have a really good environment on set.